everybody, I'm author R.G. Long, and welcome to another episode of Epic Indie Fantasy Books. I'm really excited about these books that I'm going to be talking about this week because, first off, they look super cool, and second, there's some authors who I don't know all that well, but I've been watching them kind of from afar, so really excited to see what this is going to look like and end up as. So to make sure everybody knows what we do here, how this works is I'm going to look at the cover of the book and show it to you on the screen so you can see it as well. Then I'm going to look at the blurb or the description of the book on Amazon, read that for you so we can kind of react to that together. I'm going to read to you the first page of the book, just what shows up on the little sneak peek preview thing. And then we're going to look at some reviews, to look at the positive reviews and see if there are any negative ones as well, and just so we can get a whole picture of the book together. And then I'll let you know if it's a book that just sounds interesting to me based on that, and maybe you can buy it as well, because I will put the links to both the books we're going to be looking today down in the description below. Go ahead there and see if that's a book that you are interested in checking out. So let's get down to business. First book here is Divinity's Twilight by Christopher Russell. Okay, so first things first, we got to look at that cover. All right, so I really enjoy this cover. I know I've said on this channel before, and in this playlist that you can look and see, I've said that I don't like people on covers. I've seen some really stellar covers with people on it, and this one's really great. I like this a lot, and maybe it's because maybe the covers I saw with people on it maybe weren't all that great. I don't know, but this is really cool. So we've got it looks like a male character and a female character in some type of uniform looking thing. There we've got a uniform, and then in the background we're definitely seeing some type of fortress or city. If you look really hard, you can see that there's something flying over there, which I love me a good airship, so let's make airships more readily available to the public. And then she's got a dagger. He's got what looks like a sword. So I'm enjoying this. Divinity's Twilight Rebirth. I'm assuming Divinity's Twilight is the series title and Rebirth is the book title. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so cover looks pretty cool. I would definitely be in for that. All right, here we go. So here is the description. All right, let's read. A world consumed by war, an ancient evil resurrected, a millennia-old bargain comes due. When two blades clash, the third will fall, and the fate of all will be jeopardized. To save Lazaria, and excuse me if I pronounce any of these things wrong, absolutely, sorry about that. To save Lazaria, the failures of the past must be atoned for by a new generation of heroes. The time has come for mortals to cast off sight, and in so doing, truly come to see. Victory is never absolute. 7 centuries ago, the forces of order won the Illyrite War on the plains of Harmouth. Demartis and Rabin Aurelian slew their elder brother Sarkon, the despotic architect of the conflict, then sacrificed themselves to banish the cataclysmic vortex, opened with his dying breath. The first advent of the Oblivion Well was thwarted. Even without their vanquished gods, the 7 races of Lazaria proved themselves capable of safeguarding their world. Or so the story goes. The year is now 697 ABH after the Battle of Harmouth. The war itself remains much the same. The weapons with which it is waged have evolved. Airships, yes, airships being powerful cannons bearing powerful cannons ply the skies, reducing the influence of mages and their spells. Long-range communication has brought far-flung regions of Lazaria closer than ever before. At the center of this technological resolution are the 3 Terran states of Demartia, Rabin, and Sarkonia, who have fought a near-ceaseless campaign of 700 years in an attempt to best each other. The roots of their enmity lie buried beneath the wastelands of Harmouth, a place all 3 nations consider best forgotten. However, an ancient power sealed within Harmouth has not forgotten them, and the descendants of those who fought on that field must now take a stand to rectify the mistakes of the past. Oh dang, that's a long description. That's a lot. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. It sounds cool. It sounds very neat, but wow, that's a long description. Normally for me, my first thing that I look for in a description is that it's not that long, and that it doesn't include that many, like that many proper names. I've kind of lost a little bit about what's going on. Again, hear me out. Sounds really cool. That's a long description. Okay, lots of world building, lots of proper nouns. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, so that was the cover and the blurb. Now we're going to read the first page, and I've just pulled it up here on Amazon, and I'm looking at the very first page of what my little iPad can hold, and that's what we're going to read. All right, here we go. And this is the prologue, looks like. The world burned. It's a good opening line. Streaks of orange and red crisscrossed the sky, put there by siege engines or battalions of elemental mages. When they struck true, flesh boiled and horrendous cries arose along with embers and smoke. Even when they missed, the chaos of the battlefield only grew. Dry prairie grasses, waist high in some places, went up like oil-drenched torches, casting forth tendrils of hungry fire that spread through the plains in a catastrophic chain reaction. From above, it probably looked quite pretty, like a quilt dappled with the colors of the sun. Hopefully the divine veneer, content to watch mortals suffer from their heavenly halls, were enjoying the performance. For Divinitys Aurelian certainly wasn't. Gasping for air, he flipped back the slotted visor of his sallet. He stabbed his lance into the dirt, yanked the thrice-cursed helmet from his head, and cast it toward enemy lines. Considering the way it was baking him alive, it belonged with them. Oppressive as the heat was, the cares of the ash-filled breeze on Demartius's stubble-lined cheeks felt wonderful. It might just be the best feeling in the world. A flake of soot dropped into his eye. He swore, blinking, and reached for the leather canteen on his belt. The liquid sloshed around inside. He dashed half onto his face and guzzled the rest. Grinning like a madman, he chucked the water skin in the same direction as the helmet. This battle would be decided in the next quarter hour. Either Divinitys would find a new, preferably full, flask at that point, or he and all the other leaders of the Alliance of Five would be dead. Alright, so we got a battle scene going on, and it sounds like this is mentioning the battle that was talking about, the Battle of Harmouth, in the description. So that's the prologue there, and in the prologue, that's all you get to read in the look inside. It's a long prologue. It's a lot of setup, so it looks cool. Okay, so we have done the cover, which you see still here on the screen, the description, the first page. Let's scroll down to some reviews. All right, some reviews. All right, so it looks like 60% 5-star, 22% 4, 14 3, 1% 2, and 2% 1. So a heavily spread 5-star rating. So it's good. All right, so let's see here. Simply amazing, 5-star rating. This story has been on my to be read list for so long. I was delighted to be able to couple the read with the July bonus. There was a July bonus. And then, of course, I kicked myself for waiting so long. The story is so well written. It took me a bit longer to finish because my rude work and adulting got in the way, but I could have easily blown through this in a day or two. So invested with what I and the characters and what was going on. And of course, I finished and went looking for book 2. Even though the list ready to go for my next read, I would totally scrap them to find out more about these intrepid rebels. 10 out of 10. Loved it. Okay, so that's great. Looking really, really good there. 5 stars on those ratings. So let's look and see if there's a 3-star review. Nope, just a rating. 2-star review. Nope, rating. And 1 star. Nope, just a rating. Let's look at that. It's 4 stars too. 4 star. Yeah. These all look fairly long, but really happy. Slow start, then it hooks you. Okay, I really like the development of the characters and the use of magic, different abilities, and technology is very intriguing. I find the book to be an interesting mix of magic, science, and fictional history. I've never been a big history person, fictional and non-fiction, so I found the prologue to be a tad slow to read. Okay, it's been a while since I've read a novel due to work and kid, so I wasn't surprised it took me a little bit of time to really delve into it. But once I got about a third of the way through the main story, I was hooked. Can't wait to see what's next. Okay, so we have a fantastic cover, a fairly long description, a prologue that this 4-star says is a bit long, but it says the story really grabs you when you get going. And you can't deny, we've got total 107 ratings. So 107 ratings, more than half of them 5 stars. We're doing great. All right, so Christopher Russell, I mean, yeah, thumbs up. I'd be interested in this book. I'd pick it up for myself. So this is Divinity's Twilight, Rebirth by Christopher Russell. You can find it down in the comments below. You should go and check that out. Okay, so next book. Let's see what we got here. We have In Solitude's Shadow by David Green. In Solitude's Shadow by David Green. All right, so just this first look at this cover. Oh my goodness. So we got a lot going on in this cover. First off, this girl's hair is blue. All right, so I kind of like that contrast in the cover that we're looking here, because what I see is mostly like kind of dull. It's not gray exactly, maybe like a clay color. And dull is maybe not the right word, but maybe just muted tones, and then like that blue hair just hits you. I like that, actually. I like that a lot. Okay, and then it looks like our character's holding in one hand some magic of some sort, like a little green glowing orb, and a sword in the other hand. And if I was a betting man, I would say that fortress behind her is the bad guys. And because spikes. Because lots of spikes. Usually spikes mean bad guys. Or prisons she escaped from. Or gonna break into. Something like that, right? That's normally what happens. So it looks here, we have Empire of Rune, Book 1, In Solitude's Shadow, David Green. Okay, the cover looks really cool. I'm enjoying that cover. All right, let's get to our description. All right, description of the book, it reads like this. They will have their revenge. Xana Alpenwood, a powerful mage, stands atop Solitude's walls, staring down at an army bent on invasion. 200 aged and forgotten sparkers are all that stand between the banished and the nation of Haltveld. With time running out, Xana is forced to reach out to her estranged daughter, Colleen, and set her on an impossible quest. In doing so, Colleen must decide between her masters and her own conscience, as she teams up with unlikely allies to forge their way over land and sea. Will they arrive in time to save the Fortress of Solitude from destruction? Only one thing is certain. Rune is assured if Solitude falls. Okay, so it looks like we're trying to save the bad guy castle. But maybe it's not the bad guy castle. Maybe it's good guy castle with spikes. So maybe good guy castle has spikes. It's a possibility here. Okay, so I'm going to get down to this first page here. Also prologue and a little bit of history. 2,000 years ago. Okay, prologue, the seeds of ruin. 2,000 years ago. Jacob thrust his blade into the blood-soaked soil and leaned on the pommel. The screams of the dying filled his ears. The stench of the dead made him gag. Smoke rose as he peered across the battlefield. We won, he muttered, shaking his head, sweat stinging his eyes. How? Hours before, they had hidden behind Spring Haven's brittle walls, cowering beneath the protection of their sparkers as the first people sent wave after wave of magic users to annihilate them. The war against the rulers of Haltveld had stretched into its second full year. It seemed like a battle the humans and their elven allies couldn't win. Humans and elves were united in their belief that magic was a rare and sacred gift from the gods Ross and Jana, but every soul in the First People's army possessed magical energy. They wielded their savage power without mercy. They obliterated settlements filled with innocent men, women, and children, and they reveled in their carnage. Then the First People moved on to the next village, and the next, and the next. When the First People's mages had overpowered their sparkers, when Springhaven's walls had fallen to roaring flame and sundered earth, Jacob had turned to the soldiers around him, men and women he'd known all his life, hoping to give them one last rallying cry, to call on them to die with honor, to make Ross and Jana, their gods, proud. The words had died on his lips. Wow, okay. That's cool. I like that. All right, so In Solitude Shadow by David Green. I'll say this is a thumbs up too. This looks like an interesting book. Like I said, description not super long. Makes me want to think that I would get into that. Let's see. Let me scroll down here. We've got some ratings. We've got 58 total ratings. An average of 4.7 on Amazon. 78% are 5-star. So there you go. So let's read here. Spectacular doesn't begin to describe this magnificent book. Wow, there you go. I don't know why I'm astonished at David's superb writing skills, but I am. I feel like I'm reading prose by a master, each stroke building on the next to create a masterpiece. I mean, just look at this as an example. All right, in quotes. Its magnificent world building runs at such pace that I'm almost afraid to blink in case I miss something as I'm the one reading it. I feel I have to point out how well-rounded, fully fleshed, and meaty the characters are. None of them painted to perfection. I was vested in every single character. Could totally understand where they were coming from, what their fears were, what their regrets were, their strengths and weaknesses. Everything was crystal clear. The depth and scope of the book is spectacular. The events and use of magic unexpected and sometimes even cruel, coming together in a book I could not put down. Well, there you go. That is, I would say, that is high praise. So there's a 5-star rating. Okay, we have one critical review, one 3-star review looks like, and it just says the plot and characters were okay and the writing was decent. I don't regret picking up a copy, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to get me interested in the sequel. Okay. So a 3-star rating saying they like the book, but they just don't want to read more. Well, if you like book 1, I feel like you're going to eventually like book 2. So there you go. That's David Green's In Solitude's Shadow. Looks like it'd be great. Got some great reviews going there. Thumbs up for that as well. Okay, so great. Those are our 2 books. So In Solitude Shadow by David Green, and then Divinity's Twilight, Rebirth by Christopher Russell. The down are there. You can find the books in the description. Click on them, check them out for yourself, read some more of the sneak peek because I only read the first little bit. Maybe you have found a brand new author or a brand new story that you would be interested in reading. So check those out and you should enjoy. And if you haven't picked up my books, those are down in the description below as well. Maybe you could pick up those books as well. Hey, thanks so much for checking out this, and I hope you get to find some great new reads. I'm author RG Long, and I really hope you enjoy the journey.